Well, the first quarter of the season is over with and the Lions are sitting at 1-3. I'm Tori Petry and you're watching Tori's Take presented by Priority Health. It's been a tough start to the season for the Lions after coming out on the wrong side of what was another really close game last night. So, as we do every week on this segment, let's break it down. A close game, Matthew Stafford with a go-ahead score in the waning minutes of the fourth quarter. Usually those are really good things for the Lions, but it didn't quite come together that way on Sunday. The dagger for this team was Ezekiel Elliott's 34-yard catch that set up the Cowboys' walk-off field goal. Jarrad Davis got caught downfield in coverage, and honestly, that is just such a tough matchup. Plus, according to ESPN Stats and Info, it was the first time ever that Elliott had been targeted 10-plus yards downfield. That stat is just crazy to me. It shows how difficult it was for Davis to defend it and for Lions coaches to anticipate it. But here's the thing, that catch wasn't the problem. It was Ezekiel Elliott all game long. He had a career day against the Lions, notching 240 yards from scrimmage. The Cowboys as a team had 183 rushing yards, and it is tough to win when you cannot defend the run, and it's been a pattern for the Lions. In their loss against the Jets, they gave up 169 rushing yards. Against the 49ers, they gave up 190. The Lions are currently last in the league in rushing yards allowed. A lot of times I'll mention bright spots on these Tori's Takes, but part of what was frustrating about Sunday was that there were several Lions who had great individual days on Sunday. Golden Tate's 2 touchdowns and 132 yards were huge for this team. Side note, I had no issue with his high stepping on his first touchdown, but the ball security on the second one made me a little bit nervous. Of course, who was throwing to him? Matthew Stafford. He didn't have a single incompletion in the second half of that game. And Darius Slay had a big day too with his 3 pass breakups, one of which was a touchdown-saving breakup, and another was on third down and forced a field goal. He was thrown at 6 times and only gave up 2 catches for 20 yards. Yet, still as a team, they couldn't get it together. Matt Patricia said the Cowboys out-executed them all across the board and said it was not a winning effort. Look, the Lions only have one more game until their Week 6 bye week. It goes without saying that it'd be really helpful to win this one this weekend against the Green Bay Packers. It's their first division game of the year, and it sounds much better to be heading into that bye week coming off of a morale-boosting win sitting at 2-3 than it would be heading into that week with a loss and sitting at 1-4. We'll see what they're able to do this weekend. With the upcoming NFC North matchup in mind, let's take a look at the division for the extra point. Who better to look at this week than Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago Bears? 6 touchdowns for the young guy, 354 passing yards, and 53 rushing yards as well. The Bears, who have typically been the bottom dwellers of the NFC North in recent years, are sitting at the top of the division now at 3-1. I remember back in training camp I spoke with members of the national media about the other teams in the division, and they had high praise for the other teams of the NFC North. Lions fans were a little upset that their team wasn't getting its due. Well, now that we're a quarter into the season, those national media members aren't looking too far off. The Lions have a ways to go to catch up in the NFC North. All right, that's it for this week's Tori's Take presented by Priority Health. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be right back here next week. From Xfinity Studio, I'm Tori Petry.